दही बड़ा खाने का मन है।
वाह क्या स्वाद!
असली स्वाद तो MDH दही बड़ा रायता मसाले से ही आता है।
Thanks for joining us on This Is Exclusive. I'm Niranjan. You've seen the pictures play out from Pahalgam, different parts of the country, as 26 Indians, their mortal remains reach home to different parts of the country. And today on the show we have big breaking news. It's not just Pakistan. There is role of Hamas emerging. We have proof. Here are the headlines. Hamas-Pakistan terror alliance, pictures, proof, it's all falling in place. We have the details. Secret Hamas meeting in Pakistan. There are pictures from February. There are pictures from 3 days before the Pahalgam terror attack. Israel confirms Hamas role. Israeli ambassador says Hamas leaders have been meeting regularly. Lashkar terrorists in Pakistan. India briefs top nations on Pahalgam terror attack as it ramps up the diplomatic offensive. Hours after Pakistan tried to warn India about a test, Indian Navy shows them who's the boss. BSF Jawan accidentally crosses over to Pakistan. He had crossed over just 30 meters. He's being held by Pakistan. Talks are on to release him as soon as possible. And for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, on Republic TV since the Pahalgam terror attack, when you look at the nature of these attacks, there is ample evidence that this has some Hamas footprint. There are comparisons being made to the manner in which the Hamas carried out the October 7th attack in Israel, killing innocent Israeli citizens in a very, very similar manner. The location that was chosen, the targets that was chosen, the manner of executions, it's all falling in place. Did Hamas play a role in the Pahalgam attack? It appears Hamas did play a role in the Pahalgam terror attack. Hamas leaders met Pakistani groups on the 18th of April in Pakistan. Why did Hamas leaders travel to Pakistan? Republic has accessed the Hamas-Pakistan meeting video. It's with us right now. Let's play out the video. Let me play out the video for you, ladies and gentlemen. The big Republic exclusive on the Pahalgam terror attack. Exclusive watermark on that, please. Exclusive watermark. These are pictures, exclusive pictures that Republic has accessed of the Lashkar-Hamas joint plot for the first time. Pictures of a secret meeting. Pictures of a secret meeting took place between Hamas and Pakistan terror groups, Pakistan terror commanders in the Derawar area of Ahmadpur East in Pakistan. And the pictures of the meeting, I'll get my colleague Shawan also live on the story. The meeting took place on the evening of the 18th of April 2025, exactly 4 days before the Pahalgam attack in Kashmir. This meeting between Hamas leaders and Pakistan terror groups was held in broad daylight at the Bahawalpur base. At the Bahawalpur base of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, they all work under an umbrella. Hamas leaders from Israel were given a customary reception on arrival. The Hamas delegation arrived in 3 vehicles accompanied by a full escort of 9 bulletproof vehicles. The primary agenda of the meeting of the Hamas and Pakistan's Lashkar group was to explore the possibility of replicating the 7th October style attack in India 4 days, just 4 days before the Pahalgam terror attack. These were the pictures. These are pictures that came in from Pakistan. Shawan is with me. Shawan is with me, and he's got the full details. Shawan?
Well, in fact, Niranjan, as far as this alliance between Hamas and Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed is concerned, this has been happening for over a period of time, at least for a year. There were multiple meetings that were actually taking place. This year itself, there were 2 serious meetings that took place between Hamas and terror groups of Pakistan. First, in the month of February, this was in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in Rawalpur, where the meeting took place between a close aide of Hanaya. Hanaya has been eliminated, but his close aide met with Lashkar-e-Toiba commanders. The second meeting is extremely significant because this comes just days before the attack took place in Pahalgam. In fact, remember, several of these Hamas leaders, when they met the commanders of Jaish-e-Mohammed as well as Lashkar-e-Toiba, had been referring to Pakistan as their elder brother. That's the significance that has been attached to the meetings that have taken place between Hamas and Lashkar-e-Toiba as well as Jaish-e-Mohammed. In fact, Israel has now come on record stating that these meetings that have taken place and the fact that they were invited by the Pakistanis, in fact, some have addressed the Pakistan parliament to the National Assembly almost a year ago. They were given a customary reception. In fact, during the address that they've made it very clear that Pakistan has actively supported them. In fact, multiple meetings have actually taken place even outside Pakistan, in Qatar, where the meeting took place between senior leadership of the Pakistani government and the Hamas. And of course, as far as Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba are concerned, these meetings have all happened in Pakistan itself.
I have a confirmation now, Shawan. The Israeli ambassador has confirmed that Hamas leaders have been traveling to Pakistan. I have that second breaking news update. I'm going across straight to that. For the first time, we have a confirmation from even Israel confirming that Hamas leaders traveled to Pakistan. They played a role. Did they play a role in the Pahalgam attack? It appears increasingly that there is evidence that Hamas played a role. Israeli ambassador confirming that Hamas leaders have been traveling to Pakistan and that they have had meetings with the Lashkar-e-Toiba which carried out the Pahalgam terror attack.
Ever since the ghastly terror attack there in Pahalgam, there are lots of parallels that are being drawn as to what happened there in Pahalgam and then what happened on October 7th when Hamas terrorists attacked in Israel. What do you have to say about that? How do you see that?
Well, it's very easy to see the lines that are very similar. Because the terrorists are copycatting and they are inspiring each other, unfortunately. We've seen Hamas leaders being invited to areas, to Lashkar-e-Toiba events, etc. And this is completely unacceptable. We know that. We know that they have the same goal, but we have the same goal as well. We are going to fight as civilized societies to get rid of these terrorists and to get rid of the root causes of that are enshrined in this extremist, distorted religious cult. We have to fight that in many ways, not only militarily, but also politically. We have to join, we have to coordinate our foreign policies, we have to fight against the means of communication that are being used by the terrorists. This is a comprehensive effort, and it will take time. And we are determined to continue working together with the Indian government to cope with that.
And this is not the first meeting. The next breaking news that I have is of the different meetings that Hamas leaders have had in Pakistan. Let me quickly get you that breaking news update. Pictures of at least two earlier meetings. In August 2024 and February 2025, they have had meetings. And it is now confirmed that those meetings did take place in Pakistan once again. We have another picture. Can we please play the pictures of the earlier meetings as well? August 2024. February 2025. This is another picture of Hamas leaders in Pakistan in POK. Hamas leaders went to POK. They were seen on Pakistan stage, and these are pictures of that stage. If you remove that water park, you can see the flags. There's a Hamas flag, and there is a flag that is used by Pakistani terror groups like Lashkar and Jaish-e-Mohammed. That too is here in this picture. Okay, I have a breaking news update now coming in. I'm going across to Kashmir, where my colleague Arawat is joining us live with a breaking update. Let me go across straight to him. And there's a story of Syed Adil Shah, one of the victims of the terror attack in Pahalgam. In a moment of crisis, he stepped forward to protect tourists, and he tried to disarm the terrorists, an act of selfless bravery that cost him his life. I'm going across to Arawat, who's being joined by Adil Shah's wife right now. Over to you, Arawat.
Yes, Niranjan, we are here at the residence of Adil, and we have been told by the family members that Adil has also tried to snatch the weapon of the terrorists there to save the terrorists, but we have seen that the multiple rounds were fired by the terrorists on the Adil. आप मुझे बताइए क्या बोलकर आदिल उस दिन आपको लेकर
उसने बोला कि मैं पहलगाम जा रहा हूँ काम पे। मैंने बोला ठीक है जाओ। अब रब के हवाले तो जब वहाँ से लौट के आया ही नहीं, वहाँ से देखा तो वहाँ से डेड बॉडी आ गई वहाँ से लौट के। बस
आदिल ने वहाँ पर आतंकियों से वहाँ पर उनके साथ फाइट भी किया हुआ है, हालांकि वेपन भी छीनने की कोशिश की गई।
जी, आदिल ने वहाँ से उनके साथ फाइट भी की और वेपन भी छीन कर लिया और अपनी जान चली गई, उसकी जान। अब मैं क्या करूँगी, मैं बेसहारा हो गई हूँ, मैं कहाँ जाऊँगी।
आपको कैसे पता चला कि आदिल वहाँ पर उनको गोली लगी है?
रात के लोगों ने बताया।
आप मुझे बताइए, आप आदिल के क्या लगते हैं?
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। मैं आदिल का साला लग रहा हूँ। आदिल मेरा जीजा था। वो आदिल एक बहुत ही अच्छा इंसान था, नेक इंसान था, बहादुर इंसान था, बहादुर है, प्राउड है आदिल पे। आदिल शहीद हुआ तो आदिल एक बहादुर था। उसने अपनी जान को जोखिम में डाल के, ख़तरे में डाल के टूरिस्टों को बचाया, उनके साथ आतंकवादियों के साथ लड़ बैठा, उनकी वेपन भी छीनी, उनको बोला कि आप इन बेगुनाहों को क्यों मार रहे हो, जो ये बेकसूर है, जो बाहर से आए हैं, टूरिस्ट आए हैं, घूमने के लिए आए हैं, बड़ी उम्मीद से आए हैं, तो आप इनके साथ ऐसा सलूक क्यों कर रहे हो? इन्होंने आपका क्या बिगाड़ा है जो आप इनको मार रहे हो, बेगुनाह बेकसूर क्यों मार रहे हो? आदिल को जज्बात आए, आदिल को नाकाबिले बर्दाश्त हुआ ये, तो आदिल उनके साथ लड़ बैठा। तो आदिल ने उनके साथ हाथ तपाई की, उनकी वेपन छीने, तो उन्होंने उसी दौरान में आदिल को 3 फायर मार दिए, तो आदिल को शहीद कर दिया। तो हमें प्राउड है, आदिल के शहीद होने पे प्राउड है कि आदिल शहीद हो गया लड़ते लड़ते आतंकवादियों के साथ, बगैर हथियार के साथ। उसका जज्बात को सलाम करते हैं, आदिल के जज्बात को, बगैर हथियार, कोई हथियार नहीं, उसके जज्बात को सलाम करते हैं हम कि उसने अपने जज्बातों के साथ उनके साथ लड़ा, अपने जान खतरे में डाल के टूरिस्टों को बचाया, उनके खिलाफ बोला कि इनको क्यों मार रहे हो आप, इनने आपका क्या बिगाड़ा, ये तो बेकसूर लोग हैं, ये तो वहाँ से घूमने के लिए आए, मैं इनकी परवरिश कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे मेरे साथ आए हैं ये घूमने के लिए, मैं इनकी गाइडिंग कर रहा हूँ, आप इनको क्यों मार रहे हो, इन्होंने आपका क्या बिगाड़ा है? तो उन्होंने उसी दौरान आदिल ने जब उनके साथ हाथ तपाई हुई तो आदिल उनके साथ भिड़ गया, तो उनके रफल वेपन जो थी वो आदिल ने छीनी। आदिल के हाथ पे निशान था पूरा, आदिल का हाथ जला हुआ था यहाँ से। जब आदिल की डेड बॉडी आई तो आदिल का हाथ यहाँ से जला हुआ था, वेपन के साथ वो जला हुआ था उसका आदिल का हाथ। तो उन्होंने फिर उसी दौरान जब आदिल ने उनके साथ हाथ तपाई की तो उसी दौरान उन्होंने आदिल को 3 फायर मार दिए, एक यहाँ पे मारा था, एक यहाँ पे बाजू में मारा था और एक यहाँ पे मारा था, शोल्डर पे मारा था। तो आदिल बेकसूर मारा गया, आदिल शहीद हो गया, लेकिन वो बेकसूर उन्होंने उनको मारा। तो आदिल ने अपनी जान खतरे में डाल के टूरिस्टों को भी उनको बचाया, अपनी जान तो दे दी उसने आदिल ने, लेकिन टूरिस्ट बचा लिया उन्होंने, ये टूरिस्ट को उसने बचा लिया, जिसके साथ वो गया था तो उसको बचा लिया। और आदिल, अब हम ये चाहते हैं कि इंसाफ होना चाहिए। आदिल की वाइफ जो है, जो 6 साल से आदिल की शादी हुई थी, 6 साल से एक साथ ये ज़िंदगी गुजार रहे थे, अब ये कहाँ जाएगी, ये किनके घर जाएगी? भाई भी इनको अगर रखेंगे तो 3 साल 2 साल 4 साल आखिर ये किनके घर पे जाएगी? भाइयों को भी अपने बच्चे, मैं भी, मेरे भी 3 बच्चे, मैं तो इसकी परवरिश करूंगा, अब जितने तक होगा मैं तो इसका परवरिश करूंगा। आदिल का माँ बाप, जो बुजुर्ग माँ बाप है आदिल का, उसकी आस थी आदिल कमाएगा, लाएगा, हमको खिलाएगा। अपना वो बहन, उसके छोटे छोटे बहनें हैं, भाई है, छोटे भाई है, उसको वो कमाने का सहारा आदिल ही था उनका। बस
जो ये आतंक है वो अभी भी पहलगाम के जंगलों में घूम रहे हैं, हालांकि सर्च ऑपरेशन भी वहां पे चल रहा है। क्या चाहते हैं आप, किस तरह से उनका जो है बदला लिया जाए?
बदला इस तरीके का लेना चाहिए, लिया जाए कि जैसे आदिल के साथ किया उन्होंने, बाकी टूरिस्ट के साथ जो बेगुनाह मारे गए, बेकसूर मारे गए। अगर आदिल को उन्होंने 3 राउंड 3 फायर मारे तो उनके साथ 6-12 फायर मारने चाहिए उनको।
And in the story of the Hamas-Pakistan alliance, my colleague there, Arawat, speaking to the family of Adil. I'm going across to also Bob Blackman. Bob Blackman is a UK MP joining us live on This Is Exclusive this evening. Mr. Blackman, can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, so Mr. Blackman, I have these videos in my possession right now, and I'm going back to the story of the Hamas-Lashkar alliance. There are videos that we have accessed here at Republic TV that show Hamas leadership in Pakistan's Bahawalpur meeting terror groups, including the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, at a terror base on the 18th of April, 4 days before the attack in Kashmir, the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, of course, India is watching every little move. They hoped that this secret meeting would go unnoticed, but we have that video, and I'll play that video out for you. Can we please play that video for a second for Mr. Blackman? And this is a video of Mr. Blackman. I can read over the video. I can describe the video. There are 9 cars, 9 tinted vehicles in which Hamas leadership is entering a terror base. And this has also, by the way, been confirmed by the Israeli ambassador to India, Mr. Razar, who has said that, yes, Hamas leaders have been visiting Pakistan, and this is the latest meeting. And the reason why we are showing this video and telling you the story, Mr. Blackman, is because the manner in which our Indians, 26 of them, were executed. They were executed in complete Hamas style, many similarities to the 7th of October attack in Israel. I'd like to get your response to that.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to express my condolences to the families of the victims of this terrorist atrocity. Clearly, the position here is one which is rapidly escalating and rapidly moving. The fact of you discovering these videos of Hamas leaders meeting Islamist terrorists in Pakistan, who then presumably are directly involved in the terrorist atrocities on the 22nd of April, as you say, is very similar to what happened prior to the 7th of October 2023 in Israel, where terrorists crossed out of Gaza and literally sought to murder as many Jewish people as they possibly could. 4 days before that particular atrocity, there was a meeting between the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps from Iran and the Hamas leadership, where they were either given permission or instructed to carry out their atrocities. I'd be interested to see as well whether there's any involvement from Iran in this particular atrocity. In the United Kingdom, I raised this on the floor of the House this morning in the UK Parliament and called for a statement from the Foreign Secretary condemning these atrocities and giving full support for the Indian government in the action that they take. And obviously, thus far, the decision to cancel visas, expel so-called diplomats, Pakistani diplomats, and close the border is obviously an immediate set of actions that the Indian government can take. And indeed, the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty will be very serious news for the people of Pakistan in terms of supply of water. So these actions, I think, are non-military, but clearly, given the nature of what has happened, it is pretty clear to me, and I think most people who follow these things, that India will need to retaliate with a military action against these terrorists and make sure that those responsible for this action are brought to justice if it's possible, or alternatively eliminated, and indeed all their supporters along the line of control that exists at the moment, and those various different terrorist bases that Pakistan either turns a blind eye to or actually actively supports.
The manner in which this attack took place and the kind of support that India is getting, of course, India, and if you heard what the Prime Minister of India said today, he said we will travel to the ends of the earth to find them, to hunt them down, to bury them. And we have never seen him speak in that tone. And of course, that's a message that's gone out. Now, what happens next, of course, is anybody's guess, but we will not spare anybody. We will go after the Lashkar and the Jaish-e-Mohammed, just like Israel did with Hamas. Now, my question to you is, how do you see these countries, especially the G20 nations and those that matter, respond to such an escalation?
I can only speak on a personal capacity, but my view is that whatever military action that India chooses to take to combat this terrorism, we should support, not only from the United Kingdom, but as you say, across the G20. The reality is we cannot have and cannot allow a position to exist where terrorist groups can operate in such a way with complete disregard to human life. And indeed, in this particular instance, it does appear that these terrorists deliberately sought out to kill particularly men of Hindu in front of their families, and specifically targeting them in a deliberate fashion. This wasn't some sort of sporadic attack where they were attacking a military operation or something like that, or even officials. This was quite deliberately targeted at pilgrims, and indeed intended, in my view, to prevent tourism and other such economic activity in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the reality is that these Islamists will not accept the fact that the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir is part of India. And of course, they are there to disrupt the operations of the Indian military and indeed the various different tourist activities that take place. I understand from what's already happened is that many people have chosen to leave the area, and indeed many trips to the area have been cancelled for fear of further security violations. That is exactly what the terrorists set out to do. So clearly what we have to do in the free world is combat this terror and make sure that those that support it are brought to justice or eliminated. And it's very simple. Israel is engaged in a war in Gaza to eliminate Hamas. If this escalates between India and the terrorists that are operating in Pakistan, then something similar can happen. But this is, of course, a very different sort of potential war where the Pakistani military will no doubt react to whatever India does. And so we've got to make sure that Pakistan understands the consequences of harbouring these terrorists in the first place.
I'll leave it at that, Mr. Blackman, and I'll thank you for joining us. Just a small correction that I'd like to make. They were not really pilgrims there in Pahalgam. They were traveling from different parts of the country, all of them Indians, and only the Hindus were singled out, asked whether they are Hindus, and they were asked to recite the kalma in Islam. They were asked to recite the kalma.
So obviously,
yeah, and because
the obvious intention.
Yeah, and there was a
Hindus.
Christian. You know, the saddest part today is there was a Christian man called Nathaniel from Indore in Madhya Pradesh in India. And he told them, these terrorists, I am a Christian and I'm not a Hindu. And he was still asked to recite the kalma. He could not, and they shot him in the head. Headshots were reserved for the Hindus and anybody who couldn't recite the kalma. And I hope that, like most, Western countries do lobby when such attacks take place anywhere else. I hope that the West speaks out on this massacre in Kashmir as well. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Blackman, on This Is Exclusive. That's it on this edition. Breaking news continues on Republic TV. Stay tuned.
लाल रंग इसका अपार,
तीखा कम है फिर भी स्वाद,
बेमिसाल बेमिसाल MDH कश्मीरी,
MDH कश्मीरी।
MDH